All right, so the timing of this particular video couldn't have come at a better time because a friend and patron of Blue Ridge Silverhound, Mr. Scott Holliday, is going to help me out with the topic for today. And by the way, for a lot of you, this is going to be a topic geared towards more of the roll searcher, pocket change searching, treasure hunting guy. Just regular people that all they want to do is go through rolls, go through pocket change, and maybe they're not into buying the high priced coins that are slabbed or, anything like that. And that's totally fine. There's really no wrong way to collect coins. Okay, so I'm happy to introduce this video. So I've done a lot of videos talking about all of the, the A-type material stuff, some of the high-grade, high-end coins, okay? And I've made quite a bit of a living doing it on YouTube. Okay, sometimes to a fault, because that kind of material gets kind of long in the tooth for a lot of people. And, first of all, I do apologize about that. I'm sorry about that sort of thing. I love talking about it because it's also a market driver as well. But people go through, just pocket change in the hopes of finding silver. Okay, silver is still very much on the hearts and minds of a lot of treasure seekers going through pocket change. Coin roll hunting is especially big, especially to find stuff like the Kennedy $half here, among other pieces in the wild. And those are certainly the things that really drive coin roll hunting in general, is this prospect of finding precious metals in there. But as we all know, it's kind of hit or miss. It's kind of a crapshoot sometimes, to find these things. And, there's got to be a different way. I've gotten a lot of questions, where is this supposed kind of gold mine out there for coins that are just general circulation stuff that traditionally, you can make a few bucks off of. Okay, we're not looking to get rich, but we want to find something that's meaningful to not only us but other collectors who want to collect kind of the low end, the low tier coins. Okay, so Mr. Scott Holliday sent me an entire sheet of coins, and this is going to be very important because I think Scott, above all else, okay, values both sides of the kind of numismatics collecting aspect of this hobby, in that, you have your nicer higher end pieces. Okay, you have the 61 quarter here, which looks absolutely phenomenal. Okay, it's a nice BU specimen. As a matter of fact, I could use that in my album. I think 61, 60D, a couple other dates, where I don't have something like this. So this is a nice addition. But at the same time, it's not going to break the bank. Okay, this is a coin that typically you could find for about maybe $5 or $6 in this condition. And then you have some of the, just a regular BU post-silver era of clad coins. There's a few tougher dates. 65 is the toughest, date out of the two here. 69D, because it is Denver, is traditionally more well-struck, got better luster. So those are a couple examples, okay, in terms of getting into coins and trying to keep it affordable, okay, while at the same time finding something that's meaningful that, later on in life, when you decide I'm ready to sell this coin collection, you could certainly make some money back on it, all right? But as far as pure cherry picking, raw, kind of just like, stuff that you don't hear about in price guides and cherry pickers guides and various manuals, we have a number of coins here that you could look for in your change that you can make $1, $2, $3, $5, sometimes $10, $15, $20. And you find them with enough frequency within these rolls, within pocket change, stuff that traditionally you get back, from a vendor or a store. And, they pop up when you least expect them. You have to think about it this way, all right? As human beings, psychologically, we make mistakes, okay? I make mistakes, for crying out loud. I hear about it every day, and I'm fine with it because it's a way of making us better. But it's with those mistakes that we could capitalize on it, okay? There's nothing like good old-fashioned human error to help kind of draw more interest in coins, okay? Finding coins with various little errors and varieties on there. That's what you're really trying to look for, okay? And these are traditionally coins, you know, like this. Double die reverse, 2005P. What is this? Oh, yeah, this is one of those Minnesotas, okay? You can find the extra tree right in the middle. Okay, a lot of people just don't know about stuff like that. Here's one which, by the way, has a couple interesting either die gouges or clashing in the ear. Okay, this is something that's generally overlooked. You look at the condition of this coin right here, and it has seen a little bit of circulation. But a lot of these coins, what I want to do is get underneath the microscope so that way we could take a look at it. All right, so that way you guys can get a general idea of what to look for. 2008D extra wing, which I believe this is a Oklahoma. All right, so I did see a little bit of doubling. It says die chips. You know, it's interesting small stuff like that. Again, you're not going to set the world on fire, but if you wanted to find coins that you could kind of, you know, that not only build your own reference manual on, but also if you needed to kind of like find stuff like this, turn around and flip them for $1 or $2, you could do that with relative ease because there is a market for these. See, 2018. This is a brand new coin in which it is a Cumberland Island. All right. But let me go ahead and grab my pointer right here, and you're going to see exactly what I see. You guys probably already see it. See this big old die break right here that goes from this inner ring of this National Park quarter to this? That's a huge, big piece of hunk of metal that just kind of sticks out. But yeah, a lot of people overlook stuff like that because all they're doing is trying to find the silver. They're trying to find the big time coins out there, you know, the double dies that are like, oh, this one's worth $10,000. But by finding a whole bunch of these, okay, I rub my finger over this thing. It's in this cardboard 2x2, but I just simply rub my finger over it, and there is plastic, and that's a pretty significant bump. All right, and I'm sure if you had maybe a number of these stacked on top of each other, you'll see it kind of lift up a little bit in the stack. But that's another great way to kind of supplement financially your collection, is to find stuff like that. So that's another fantastic date there, 1955S. That is a 90% coin. It is lower mintage. You know, it's a nice, pleasing overall looking coin. But we're going to take a look at everything. So this one here has a fisheye effect, 2015 dime, just a regular coin that was pulled out of change at one point. Various die chips, cracks throughout the head. We're going to take a look at that. That sounds interesting. Reverse die chips on this 17 right here. 2018P, which by the way, this coin's a year removed from when it was produced. Die chips on face, 2 retained die breaks in the head. One looks like a flame. That's incredible. That sounds interesting. We're going to have to get under the microscope with that one. 45S RPM. I actually looked at this, and Scott actually had a number of these, and I think, 9 or 10 of them, Scott, based off of your letter, came out this RPM number 11. So it's a Wexler's RPM. Fantastic coin. We got kind of a distorted double die hub. So it might be, because this is a date along with 59 that's notorious for some premature die wear. So that might be a deteriorated die stretching of the actual devices, like the Liberty, the date, the motto, things of that nature. So we'll look at that one. See, a really nice, pleasing 1976 that could go into an album. That probably will go in my album. It's even got a little bit of a kind of like goldish tone to it, and it has full steps. Very nice. Here's the 07. This one is crazy. This Jefferson nickel here. Again, you wouldn't know that this thing exists because, you know, you just throw it in a change jar. But, you know, 1988, I saw this one as a little over polishing of the die. the initials to the right of the Lincoln Memorial is kind of worn away and missing. You have a really nice die crack that looks like what they call it a spike head. But this is a 1998, folks, 2009. This one has a really crazy strike through on the eye. I did see this. I'm like, man, that looks so weird. It's like someone hit him with a ball peen hammer in the face. It's kind of gnarly, actually. And then we have a simple strike through, okay, which is designated by that little piece right there, okay, which looks like there was probably a little swath of grease that was sitting on the die before this thing was struck. But in any event, I'm going to go through a good deal of these coins. We're going to take a look at them closer under the microscope so that way you guys can see exactly what Mr. Holiday is seeing in all these coins, and then you guys can help kind of integrate the same practices in your everyday coin searching and coin roll hunting. Believe me, you could turn a $25 box of pennies or a $100 box of nickels, and instead of just looking for, wheat cents or silver war nickels, okay, you could find a whole lot more. As a matter of fact, some of these coins are worth many times more than a good old wheat cent or a silver war nickel could ever be. So stay tuned. All right, here we go. So we're going to start out with the 2008 Oklahoma quarter, okay, the one that has the kind of like extra wing. Now, there's a few things I see here, okay. First and foremost, this one took a little bit of a hit on the wing. And over here, you got a little die chip. You got some machine doubling along here. You have a pretty crazy looking die scratch that runs along here. Okay, then that's raised, so that's right on the surface. You have a die chip there in the 0 of 1907. So these are a few things that I have come to discover over the years that some little things like these are fantastic. See, there was even a little die chip right there in between the two flowers, which that's a weakening spot in the die, so that happens quite frequently. But pretty neat stuff, nonetheless. So here is the die clash or the die gouges. Okay, you can actually see it. Maybe if I turn the light a little bit, so you see that line right underneath the ear right there. Okay, and then you have other secondary line. Maybe if I flip this around a little bit, you'll get to see exactly. There you go. So you definitely do have a couple die scratches in there. Maybe at one point there was a die clash and they were just cleaning up the dies and they went a little heavy-handed with the filing tools. And then now you have a pretty cool looking die scratch in the form of that line that comes right off the ear and makes for a pretty interesting looking impression. Pretty neat. So, and this is a coin that you don't see that often. Okay, see the two lines right there? So you have one right here and then one right here. So apparently there was even one on the cheek somewhere, like the jawline. So I think that it's a very slight one, but you can see it kind of right here. A little bit more die polishing lines on there, but that's pretty cool. You don't see that anywhere else. Okay. Here's a 2018. This is that big gnarly die break right on the tip of the wing on this Cumberland Island quarter. I think it's huge. This is a coin right here that sells between $5 and $10. I guess you guys may not know about it, but this is a major interior die break. Okay, collectors love these. All right, and then here's a double die of the 2005. Trying to figure out where it's at. I found very few of these. It's going to be in between one of these trees here, and it's going to look like just, The lighting can make it so tough. And the thing about the Minnesota double dies is that they're relatively small. Okay, sometimes they'll show up as like an extra branch somewhere, but there is one there. I did see it earlier. It's just with the lighting on this setup right here, it doesn't bring up everything. All right, so here's a 2015 Roosevelt dime with some die chips on there. Okay, so I'll make sure I get the, oh yeah, look at that, on Roosevelt's brow. Yeah, make sure. All right, there, a little bit of a die break, a few little chips here and there, pretty neat, good stuff. Let's take a look at the reverse to see what that looks like. Looks like a good old dime. I don't see anything out there. Oh yeah, there's a few chips in the olive branch. Again, this would be a coin that's great reference material for you. That one right there, you can't really make any money off of. This is a 17 dime with some reverse die chips. And right there, top of the leaf. So there's one there. Yeah, there's a few in the olive leaf there. Small ones. Oh, yeah, look at that. Right above the end on that branch. The big old gnarly goober. Man, yeah, that's right good size. Again, another great eye, Scott. 2018. This one has a bunch of little tiny die chips all over his face, you know, like he's breaking out in something. See all the tiny little knickknacks and all that? There's one there just to the right of the eye, there, the top of the eye, where his eyebrow would be. Let's see, next to his mouth, bunch of tiny little chips. Yeah, this you guys there east of the Mississippi have a lot of treasure hunting. A lot of good stuff. Here's this 45S war nickel. And thank you again, Scott. This one has a RPM. That is east. This one's pretty subtle, but I did see it. There you go. You kind of get a little piece of it. So I flip it around, but you can see the extra punching of the S in there. I'll tell you what, BU silver war nickels, ladies and gentlemen, you could buy them for between $3 and $5. So here's this 57D. It says distorted doubled die hub. There might be some minor deterioration doubling on this one, Scott. Because everything looks pretty mushy and chunky on here. So, yeah, you can just see the flow lines. Yeah, look at that. Deteriorated die. Yeah, I'm willing to bet that coin looked pretty mushy. I mean, it's got some steps on there. Yeah, it's got a few steps. It's got an intrusion nick that goes through all sets of stairs right down the middle. But that's a pretty nice coin there, brother. Here's a 59D. Let's see, 5 of the date. Let's see what we got here. Looks like another mushy die. Could be, yeah, look at this. Yeah. Deteriorated die. You see the flow lines coming off of the back of Jefferson's head. This is not a crispy strike at all. Look at the eye right there. Ugh. And this, ladies and gentlemen, is what happens when you continue to use the same set of dies well beyond its normal operating kind of quota. You go beyond that. Here's the 76S. Looks a lot better. You actually have full definition of the jaw on this one. Full steps. See? Ta-da! Looks good. Man, that's a good looking set of stairs there. And let's see. Oh, this one's cool. This one is cool, guys. This one you can make about $4 or $5 on. It's 2007 Philadelphia with all the various tiny little die chips. Okay, we'll go ahead and point them out here for you. So Underneath the 2, you got that big old mass there in the 7. And let's see, in the bottom of the Y, looks especially nasty. Right there, top of the N. I saw that one earlier. Top of his right eye, right there, big old lump. Bridge of the nose, there's a few little dye chips there. Chin, let's see, right there, dye chip. Yeah, there was a few things wrong with his dye. I tell you what, it didn't have too much longer to go, huh? But that's crazy. Yeah, that's a coin that traditionally you could sell for about $4 to $5. I bet you guys didn't know that. Here's the 88 that you had sent me. This is with the missing FG. Alvers looks okay. Don't see anything of note. And there you go. Not a thing, huh? You can see just a bare remnant of the G. There was no... what was I trying to think of? Oh yeah, there's no real super value to a coin like this. It's just a little over polishing. I think they have one specific date designated for a no FG, and that's a 69D. And even still, I think it's not worth much. All right, Spikehead time, 1998. Check that out. All the way down his nose. That's crazy, man. That is a nice Spikehead. Okay, that's a coin that you could sell for about $4 or $5 right there. I sell them all day long. This one here has that funky kind of strike through on the eye. Let's see if I could... It's a little bit of... Yeah, see that impression right there? That is actually a hole. That dark spot right there under his eye. That is actually incused and it goes into his skull. It appears like he got whacked with a hammer hard. And finally, here is the 2018 with the strike through. So that is actually impressed into the coin. Okay, so you had a gob of, just remnant grease. And then that's the byproduct of a strike through with the grease on there. Okay, you just have a little bit of a void. But all in all, we take the amount of coins that we have here, which is probably about 15, 16 coins. And you take all of these. If you were going to give a dollar value for this whole batch, all right, and this is probably one good afternoon of searching through coin, you would have a value of somewhere between $25 and $30. Okay, people don't think about it. All right, $25, $30 converted over to your favorite metal of choice, silver, ends up being what? 4 or 5, 90% silver half dollars. Kind of food for thought. I tell you what, pocket change and coin roll hunting regular coins for other things other than silver is a huge gold mine. In any given week, I probably turn around about $150, $200 in assorted errors and varieties, and I don't even find silver. So, kind of give you an idea of, some of the things I do, not only as an educator on YouTube, but also as a backdoor kind of collector on these things that I do and find and monetize off of it. So that way it goes back and refuels my collecting and the hobby. So, just to kind of give you guys a general idea. Thank you, Scott, Mr. Holiday, for the wonderful gift of these coins. It's a great reference. It's a great educational tool for everyone to be able to show this. It doesn't matter if it's 50 cents or $10. Pull it out. Somehow, some way, they have some sort of value attached to them. And they're all relatively minor looking on the face. But you know what? Again, people buy these. That's the cool thing. And you can't take that away, as a part of the hobby, especially the lower tier part of the hobby, where this is kind of like a king's sport. I'm not even close to there. I'm more like kind of like the Jack or the 10. I'm not to that level. Probably won't ever be. But it's a lot of fun, to being down in the trenches and searching for stuff like this. Come check me out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. If you like what you see today, man, yeah, just give me a like. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate all of your support. Thank you for all the views. And, I'll see you on the next one. Okay. Share, subscribe, and would love to hear your comments. You guys take care and have a great evening.